Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're back, the BFNL Netball Show, back for another season and kicking things off with a huge weekend in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Not just a full round one of action, but a huge game on Sunday for our representative team. Joining me is BFNL Interleague coach and, of course, Regional State League coach Kate McMahon. Kate, welcome to the Netball Show and welcome to season 2015.
Thanks so much, Shawnee. How fast it's come around. Good to be on the ball and get going.
Certainly has, and the reason that we've got you in here is because, of course, we're going to talk about our Regional State League team who, fair to say, dominated over the summer months, didn't lose a game in the Central Highlands Regional State League, got to the grand final, 10 goals down at halftime. We're thinking, oh God, here it all goes. Clawed their way back in, 3 goals down at the last break, tied at the final whistle. Overtime, just absolutely swamped it in. Undefeated, Regional State League champions, 3rd year in a row. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much, Shawnee. It is, I think it's a real testament to the group of girls who've not only come through the 3 seasons, but those who've come into the group. That we've gone through 3 seasons of Central Highlands, Regional State League, and not lost a match. So I think that's a real testament to the league as a whole, because we've never carried BFNL players. Just how much our depth is, and that's only doing good things for the league when they go back to their clubs to play, of course, the home and away season. So very proud of the girls.
We could talk about the Regional State League season to death. The obviously 5 games undefeated, semi-final against Maryborough, which was a bit of a challenge, and then the final against the Riddle League, which was decided in extra time. But in the end, what's come from that is the chance to once again move on to a Champions Challenge, as we have in the past 2 years, but with a bit of a difference this time. There's no little round robin tournament to go through. It's straight to Hisense Arena and taking on the Gippsland League this Sunday at Hisense Arena as a curtain raise to a Melbourne Vixens game. Yeah,
look, it's very exciting. For those in the know, yes, we've had to play round robin matches to win our way through in previous years, but for the powers that be, have decided that this year there's just one final and we are involved in that. So again, it's extremely exciting for the girls to step out onto a court such as Hisense Arena, and it's why I coach. I love to develop players, but I also love seeing people getting rewards for their hard work, and I think that's what this exactly is. As you know, we've been there twice before and we've lost the grand final, the state final, so there is a lot of ambition and a lot of reasons for us to go out there and do well on Sunday, and needless to say, the girls are very excited about getting out there.
They are indeed. We saw some of the training tonight. Interesting training, taking on obviously training last night being Tuesday night at Ballarat Grammar on your own, and then tonight we're here in Bacchus Marsh, taking on the ACU Sovereigns in a practice match as well, the 9 and under side as well as the championship side.
Yeah, it was actually a really fantastic warm-up for us, because we had a couple of weeks off. We had Easter in the middle, and I think the girls really needed to be refreshed in a way. They've of course been doing a lot of hard work with their own BFL teams. So this week's sort of been our week of power, where we trained just on some technical stuff in combinations last night, and it's been great to be able to come along tonight and compete against a very, very formidable under-19 side, and then to go
and killing it in the BFNL at the moment.
It's great, and it really is great, and it shows tonight why they're doing so well, and also the championship side as well, to go up there against them. So
coming off their first victory.
It's exciting, and it's exciting times, and it's really good to be around, and it's great for the girls, and this has been a perfect lead up for us into Sunday's match, so we'll see.
Let's have a little bit of a look at Sunday. Once again taking on the champion from the Eastern Regional State League, but interestingly it's not the Alberton Football League, who have beaten you the last couple of years. It's the Gippsland League this year. Don't know too much about them. I know there was an aborted road trip down to see the Eastern State League Grand Final after somebody got sick, but that's probably not a bad thing in many ways, because now you can go into the game concentrating on what you got to bring, and then whatever they deal with, they deal with.
Oh, look, yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to lie, Shawnee. I have done my fair share of internet research.
It doesn't surprise me.
I'm not going to lie about that, but for good reason. I just want to understand where their height is, where their strength and speed is, and we've been able to find out just some basic information, and it just helps me just with my combinations and thinking about what we might need to do. So look, it's a bit like an interleague match where you go in not really knowing about the opposition, but that really allows you to, I suppose, focus on yourselves and not worry about the opposition so much, and that's the powerful thing. So that's been something that I've been trying to do with the girls this week, just really working on what we do well, and then it will become a coach's game for the first 15 minutes, figure out what they do, and then try and stop what they do. So we'll see how we go.
Third time lucky?
Oh.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I'm third time lucky. I'm very honoured to be a part of this whole, the whole RSL movement, and I do believe we're seeing great things back in our home and away season matches because of the Regional State League and because of the games that the girls are getting through the summer. Nonetheless, winning runs through my blood and I yearn for it. So look, I'm not going to lie, it would be really lovely for the girls to go out there in Hisense Arena and be able to experience that euphoria, which is always, of course, winning big matches. So.
And probably going to play in front of a crowd. I know 2 years ago you played in the Hisense Arena game as well, and by halfway through the third quarter, there was 1,000 people in the building, and it was quite daunting looking up into the stands and hearing the applause and watching everybody react to your netball. And
again, that's why I'm excited. I'm always about, getting players to be the very best of their ability. And this is one of the grandest stages that, many of these netballers will most likely play on. So this is amazing, an opportunity for them to really go out there and embrace the stadium and the people and everything and have a really great time. And I really hope that we'll see some good netball come because of that. And let's hope that it is third time lucky, because that would be really special.
So it's an 11:37 start, I believe. Netball Victoria down to the minute with their timing for this game as well. So 11:37 Sunday morning, Hisense Arena taking on the Gippsland League, and then of course after it, the entree is the Melbourne Vixens taking on the Southern Steel. We know what the main event is, of course, but going to be a very good day. Tickets available through the Melbourne Vixens. We'll get you into both the Regional State League game and the Vixens game on the weekend. So go ahead and buy tickets through the Melbourne Vixens, www.melbournevixens.com.au. Come down and watch Kate and the girls. What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to point out that I am hearing that there is a charity bike ride on the Westgate Bridge the morning of.
Wowee.
So, we're heading off early, nice and early at 8:30, and so I encourage everyone to just get up early so we can get in there and have a really good crowd behind the girls, because it would be fantastic to hear support for the BFL team at Hisense Arena.
That gives us around about 72 hours to start thinking of alternate ways to take the bus driver who doesn't really know where she's going if she's not following a straight line.
Roms is all good. She's all set, and we're as long as I remember to get the bus at 8 o'clock, we'll be right.
We will indeed. Very much looking forward to it Sunday. We'll be following on our social media, so keep an eye on that throughout the day. Kate, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Absolute best of luck on Sunday. We're all looking forward to it, and it's going to be a great day.
Appreciate that very much. Thanks so much, Tom.
Kate McMahon, the BFL's Regional State League and Interleague coach, joining us. Let's throw it back into the studio for the first time this year. We'll bring Maddie Wiltshire back into the Netball Show fold. Let's have a look at all of the games happening in round one of the BGT Ballarat Football Netball League's A-grade competition this weekend. Yeah, welcome back. Here we are in the studio for the first time this year here on the Ballarat Football Netball League Netball Show. With me, he's back, ladies and gentlemen, the man that everybody wants to see. Let's make no mistake about it, man, who is the BFNL Netball Show, Matty Wiltshire, mate. Welcome back for another season.
Thanks, Shawnee. It's
sniffles, mate. You weren't going to tear up on me there, were you?
Yeah, no, it's a pretty emotional time, mate.
It is.
Netball's coming back. Everyone's excited, but I'm really looking forward for another year of netball, mate. Exciting times.
And of course, starting this weekend, as we just heard from Kate, Sunday, huge day for the BFNL Netball as the Regional State League Champions Challenge at Hisense Arena. Everyone's looking forward to this one.
Yeah, a big game, especially to show off pretty much how good the BFL is in Victoria. So the girls have shown some great talent throughout the Central Highlands League, so hopefully we can take to that next level and have third time lucky and go to that grand final and come home with a win. And as we mentioned with Kate, we will be following this all weekend. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, get all over it on Sunday. We'll have all of the updates for you. Hashtag third time lucky. There it is on the screen. So that's what we're going to roll with this weekend. Speaking of what we're going to roll with, let's roll straight into round one action, Matty, because that's what everyone wants to see. Ballarat taking on Lake Wendouree, first game for the year this weekend. And last year, this would have been one-sided. This year, probably not so. Yeah, no, definitely. Ballarat have just turned completely around. Last year, this time, they were really struggling for numbers, coaches, all things like that. But Lisa Battistello's come on board with the A-grade coach, and she's just pretty much turned things around. It's amazing what can happen with someone like that at the top. So she's obviously on board coaching, brought some fantastic players with her, and the whole squad, you can just tell, is lifted. They've got some great recruits, and they're going to have some real depth in their side. So, as you said, it would have been very one-sided last year. This year will be a lot closer. But I think Lakers have they're going to be pretty much the same as they always are, always right up there, that top sort of three spots. So I think that Lakers will come over with the win. It's sort of going to be a new outfit for Ballarat. So Lakers should have a win, but Ballarat will definitely push them.
Can show the strength of the Ballarat side this year. Your sister Abby, of course, played with the Swans last year. A-grade runner-up, best and fairest. This year, got the chop completely from the A-grade side, so shows the depth that those Swannies have got this year. Speaking of depth, Lakers, they're going to roll out an impressive young shooter of their own this weekend in the A-grade side, 15 years old. Sasha McDonald will play A-grade netball in the BFNL this weekend. She's been an absolute star in the VNL 19 and under competition this year. She's in the top 10 of the vote getters at the moment for the ACU Sovereigns, and she's absolutely flying. But don't just take our word for it, because we've got guests from both of these clubs joining us to kick off the season. So let's have a listen to Lake Wendouree's Cara Hart and Ballarat Swans co-captain Mikayla George. Welcome back to the BFNL Netball Show. We're here with Lake Wendouree veteran, and she's probably going to slap me over the head for saying that, Cara Hart. Cara, welcome to the Netball Show.
Thanks, Shaun.
And you've been given the short straw, really, because the Lakers coach doesn't want to come on. Apparently she's got a self-imposed media ban, so you're the Lakers representative. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
How's pre-season been so far? We know last year there were a lot of injuries early on in pre-season. It took you a while to get going. Has it been the same this year, or is it much smoother?
Pre-season has been much smoother. We did start in Feb, and we've been working quite hard with all the girls. We've had good numbers at each training session, so yeah, we've had some really good results, I think, and we're just looking forward really now to just getting started.
Yeah, not too much change in the side this year by the looks of it either. It looks like a very similar mix to last year. 1 or 2 recruits coming in though?
Yeah, we have picked up a few players, some young girls, and also bringing up Jackie James from A Reserve. So
Who won the best and fairest for the comp last year.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, she's got some very good credentials behind her as well. So yeah, we're very fortunate that we've retained our core group of players, and obviously welcoming Mel back into the mix as well.
Which is great, especially with Katie Williams going out of the side now, having that little bit of extra experience and a bit of hype with Mel coming in as well. And she was fantastic throughout the regional state league competition to get herself back in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that she can play our brand is a real bonus. So we've got a lot of versatility there. So
Interesting matchup this week, taking on Ballarat. If this was 12 months ago, we'd look at it and say, yeah, probably a bit of a walk away, but this year, completely new Ballarat side. It's going to be 7 basically girls on the court that haven't played for Ballarat before, so very much an unknown.
Yeah, absolutely, and I guess that's how we're sort of preparing for it, is just sort of looking at the players that we do know and sort of preparing for that, but really just turning up in the day and adapting to whatever they bring out against us.
Well, good luck for it. We'll be watching with interest, not just this week, but all throughout the season. Thanks for joining us, Cara.
Thanks, Shaun.
Cara Hart from the Lake Wendouree Netball Club joining us. And now we're going to have a talk to one of her teammates on the Regional State League side, but one of her opponents this weekend, one of the new Ballarat Swans, Mikayla George. Welcome back to the BFNL Netball Show here with Ballarat co-captain and new Swan, Mikayla George. Mikayla, firstly, welcome to the BFL.
Thank you very much.
And welcome to the Netball Show.
Thank you very much.
Interesting pre-season. You've obviously had a bit of a taste of BFNL netball with the Central Highlands Regional State League team. How have you found that experience over the summer?
It's been a really rewarding experience. I've loved working with Kate and a lot of the experienced girls throughout the season. It was pretty daunting at the start, especially coming into a new league, being introduced to a lot of new familiar faces, but having that opportunity to play Pride back 2 and 3 years ago with the likes of Georgia Cann, it wasn't too nerve-wracking coming in and fitting in and being part of the top team, but I've really, really enjoyed it.
Talk to us about the Swans, because you're coming into a team that didn't really set the world on fire last year, let's be honest, but having said that, it's a completely new slate this year because A-grade's a completely different team.
Yeah, it is. Had a lot of comments this year about how previous years haven't been as successful. Lisa's recruited really, really well over the off-season. We've had girls that have played in finals all last year in different leagues throughout Victoria. We've had a couple of girls come in from the Warrnambool League, a couple from the Central Highlands. So it's been a really great pre-season. Lisa has been working really, really hard with us. We've had Sarah Wall at training sessions.
Of course, Lisa's sister, so that helps.
It does, very much so. And the club's been really, really supportive over the whole pre-season. And I think together as a tight-knit team, we've really had our minds set on being successful this year, maybe getting rid of some of those previous comments that have been said about us and setting the bar quite high.
And it's going to be a bit of a baptism of fire for you coming up this weekend against the Lake Wendouree side that played finals last year, were probably one of the form teams up until the finals, and a very, very experienced team as well.
Definitely, definitely. Heard a lot about them. We've been doing a bit of background research, the likes of Molly and Mal Allen playing RSL with them. I think it would be good to come up against them in round 1. it might set the bar and let us walk away and see what we've got to work on. For the up and coming rounds. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it and been working really hard, so hopefully it pays off and we can get a bit of a win on the board.
Bit of an insight, what can we expect from the Swans on court this year? Because one of the things last year was that they were still able to run out games. It was a very young side and Ballarat never gave up from whistle to whistle. Are we going to see that again this year?
We are still a very young side. Most of us are in our 20s. Most of us have played a lot of netball, a couple of BFNL girls in the side. A lot of mature heads considering how young we are, but a lot of real determined heads as well. I think this year with Lisa coaching previous Dunstown grand finals, a couple from out in Hepburn, from the Warrnambool League, I think that we're really, really determined and we really are a fit team and we've worked extremely hard on the pre-season, all of us. So I think it will be one of those games where we're just going to go right to the last whistle and hopefully we can really pull it off.
Mikayla, we're very much looking forward to seeing how it comes out. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay.
Best of luck for this weekend. Of course, best of luck for the season. We'll catch up throughout the season.
Definitely. Thanks very much, Shaun.
Thanks to Mikayla George, the co-captain of the Ballarat Swans. Time to cross back to the studio and look at the rest of the games in the BFNL BGT A-grade competition this weekend. Mikayla George, the co-captain of the Swannies for this season, the new look Ballarat team that will take to the court at Alfredton tomorrow. Big game, of course, another one. They're all big games this weekend in round one. We don't quite know what to expect. Darley taking on Sunbury at Darley Park. Interesting looking game. Both teams losing a couple over the off-season, also gaining a couple. So very interesting game and one to watch, I reckon.
Yeah, this one's a real tough one. It's a bit of an unknown game for everyone sort of thing. Sunbury obviously losing Kim as head coach and also a fair few players.
Because we pinched her.
Yeah, exactly. We've done well there, picked up the best in the league. So
poached it.
Excellent news for us, not so much for Sunbury, you could say. But look, it's an unknown game. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Both teams, we don't really know how they're going to perform until after this round. And I think that Sunbury, still with the experience and the depth that they had throughout their whole grades in previous years, will be able to still come through the goods. But Darley will still be there, pushing them along. So look, a close one, but I think just going off past years, you have to go with Sunbury for round one.
Yeah, Sunbury for me as well. Some interesting players coming up in the Sunbury side this week. Adam Balderston, of course, coming on as coach, replacing Kim Bailey. They lose their bookends at either end of the court. Beck Moffat at goalkeeper, Sophie Gunn at goal shooter, but Chloe Curran at goal shooter replacing Sophie will be very handy. Has been very impressive this year at VNL level at Division 1 for the Southern Saints. Ellie Randall's in keeper, and great to see Lauren Gilchrist back up in the A-grade side for Sunbury this year as well. Darley, Tani Lopes will be the one to watch there, I reckon, as keeper. She's had a fantastic career at 19 and under and at junior level, so very much looking forward to her being able to take the step up into senior netball. Third game this weekend, Redan taking on East Point at the City Oval. Another very interesting one to watch because some pretty big losses from both sides, mate.
Yeah, no, exactly. Emma Ryan leaving East Point, is a very, very big loss for the team. Obviously the best and first winner from last year, so no one likes to see any of them players walk out the door. So it's going to be a bit of a hole there in their backline defence. Backline. We can just mix it up a bit.
Yeah, why not?
In their defence, so she's going to be very, very hard to replace. But they'll still have the likes of Lauren Atkinson with all that experience, and especially the experience now of being the vice captain of the Sovereigns. To take that back into that local level is going to be a big boost for East. Redan, look, they've haven't had the best. Well, there's a lot of really squads that have been struggling in the pre-season, and Redan is one of them teams. But as they always are, they have a couple of experienced people around the club that really can help and build the team and push it forward. So I think it's going to be a close game, but I think I'm going to tip East Point.
East Point. I like it. No Cindy Daniel for East Point this year as well at the shooting end, but fairly handy one coming in. Of course, the coach is back on the court this year, Emma Farrell, so it'd be great to see Emma back on the court and not having babies for a change, so that'd be very good to see. Redan, still that experienced core there, as you said. Emma Henry, Holly Frew, Ruby Parry, that have played a lot of representative netball as well, will still be there. Emma Blomley moving back up into the A-grade this year as well, so they've still got the experience, but I just feel, as you said, down the stretch, East Point should get the job done here. Sebastopol taking on Bacchus Marsh this weekend at the Borough Marty Bush Reserve. Another very interesting game, and great news for one of our favourites as well. Rhiannon Banner had a very solid season with Division 1 ACU Sovereigns. It's been culminated for her. Guess who the captain is of the Borough this year? Good on you, Banner.
Look, yeah, so it's news to me.
Captain Banner.
Congratulations to Banner. Now she's put in the hard yards in the off-season with the VNL, and she'll come back absolutely flying. So good choice there by Georgia, putting Banner as captain. I think she'll bring a bit of experience back into the team from that next level up, so that'll be interesting to watch, which is good. I said before how there was a few teams struggling in that off-season, pre-season time. Bacchus Smash was definitely one of them, so they're going to be a new look outfit from last year as well. They unfortunately had a few players leave, and also Frank. Frank Pavlovich. I always get it wrong. He's stepped away from the club, so it left a big hole there. But Bacchus Marsh have been doing a lot of work to try and fill the position. And look, it's going to be very interesting for them, especially in the early stages, to see how they go. And Sebas, I think the way that they've built from the start of last year to the end, hopefully they can start really well this year and then keep on building on it and hopefully make a finals spot this year. So I'm going to tip Sebas for this one.
I'm going to tip Sebas as well. It's interesting you talk about Sebas wanting to make that final spot, because we asked Georgia Cann that exact question this week, and she's going to catch up with us now. It's almost the tradition now that we have Georgia on the first netball show of the season. She was there last year for the inaugural edition. She's here this year for the first netball show of the season. Let's catch up with Sebastopol coach Georgia Cann. Welcome back to the BFNL Netball Show. We're here now with Sebastopol coach Georgia Cann. Georgia, welcome to the Netball Show.
Thank you, Shaun.
It's now our tradition. 2 years in a row we've had you on the first show, so every opening netball show you've been on, so that's the new thing from here on in.
I'm feeling very privileged, thank you.
How are you feeling firstly? New season coming up, Sebastopol, best of the rest last year, finished just outside the finals. How are you feeling going into a new season?
We're certainly looking to build upon where we finished off last season, Shaun, and we've retained the majority of our playing group, which has been really exciting for us. And moving forward, we're obviously wanting to break into finals contention, and that's certainly our goal and what we're working towards every week.
A few new players into the squad this year, and also a couple coming back from injury. Your sister Adriana, who missed most of the year in fact all of the year last year through injury, coming back in, adding some height into defence as well. But tell us about some of the other players that you've got coming in this year.
Yeah, we've picked up Carlia Dix, who has come in from the Maryborough League, and she'll be boost that defensive end with Rhiannon Banner there, and also Adriana, who will be returning from her knee reco that she had, which is really exciting for us. We've brought up two of our 19 and under girls who played last season and have been at the club for a while. So we've got Gab and Alana, so they'll really give us some nice speed, and they're very fit, young and fit, so that'll be great. And Kat Haybick too will play either goaling or defending, and she's come from New South Wales, so returning back to Ballarat.
Have you said to the girls saying our goal is to play finals this year? Have you actually said that in any of your pre-season meetings?
Oh, I think that goes without saying, to be honest, Shaun. I mean, you don't rock up to not make the finals when you're playing netball, and we'll certainly have those conversations as the season goes on. But I'd be disheartened to think that people weren't thinking that, to be honest.
Bacchus Marsh this weekend, a team that you defeated comfortably twice last year, and on paper don't look to be as strong, but you can never go round one form, you can never take anything on paper, you've just got to wait and see how it goes. So approach this week full steam. There's
not a game that we ever go into that we take lightly, or whatever it is on paper, you never know what people are going to be like, and we treat every team with the respect that they deserve, and we hope that people will do the same for us. We really pushed a lot of teams last year in the top six, and that for us, we want people to respect us and know that we're going out every week with a fire in our belly, and we really want to get out there and get those wins. But yeah, certainly a lot of respect for all the teams in our league, and that's how we operate, and I think that's a part of being humble, really.
Really good energy flowing through the club at the moment. You've got a couple of dual gate games early on as well, so you have the juniors and seniors in the mix all at the same time, so some really good positive signs flowing all the way down through the netball ranks at the Borough.
Yeah, absolutely, and the football ranks too. Great to have Snibbo on board, and there's certainly a really exciting feeling around the club at the moment, and we can't wait for the season to start. And everyone's put in the hard yards in the pre-season, and I just say bring it on and let us have a crack, and we're really looking forward to it.
You're not the only ones. We're very much looking forward to getting round one underway and getting this season started. Good luck this weekend against Bacchus Marsh, and we'll catch up throughout the season. Of course, good luck on Sunday at Hisense Arena as well.
Thank you.
Thanks to Georgia Cann, the coach of the Sebastopol Footy Club. Let's head back now and look at the last game of the round between Melton South and Melton. Back in the studio. Georgia Cann, the coach of the Sebastopol Netballers. Last game for round one down at Melton. The derby this weekend, Melton South taking on Melton at the Rec Reserve. A lot of focus on the footy, with Chris Tarrant playing, of course, for Melton South this weekend, but it's going to be a pretty hot game on the netball court because there'll be a few people that fans won't recognise on the court.
A lot of new faces, especially for these two teams. They've had a big exodus from both sides this year, so it's going to be a very new look for both Melton and Melton South. And I really don't know what to expect. It's especially with the Melton side coming off reigning premiers. You'd think that if you after the grand final last year coming to this game, you'd think Melton would have a pretty comfortable win. But things have changed in the off season. I'm really not too sure what's going to happen. But I think just with leading off in the grand final last year, I think Melton will still have that couple of players around that with that experience that'll be able to guide them in the right direction. So I'm going to tip Melton. Yeah,
interesting to see with Melton. Obviously, we knew Brooke Thompson was going. She announced her retirement after the grand final last year. And Mel McCauley, almost at the 11th hour this season, not saying that she's not going to coach Melton, which was a bit of a shock. But Brooke Leeson able to stand in there and come in as coach of the team. One to watch this year in the league, Talia Coverdale for Melton, was fantastic last year in the 19 and unders as a bottom age player, winning the league best and fairest. MVP of the Regional State League this year at the 17 and under level as well, so she's definitely one to watch, and still some very handy players floating around in Melton's system. Melton South also a bit of a different lineup this year. Jill Vanderos comes in as coach, replacing Bontai, and it's going to be a bit of a new look Melton South team this year, who were very competitive last year, as we know, early on, but just couldn't take that step and get the wins on the board. So something they'll be looking to do early on, but I just can't see it this week against the reigning premiers. We're through, mate. That's the first edition, done and dusted. We've got through the first one, so hopefully we don't get too many complaints at the games. I'm not going to the City Oval on the weekend because neither of us tipped East Point. Both of us tipped East Point. Yep. Neither of us tipped Redan, which means Ruby Parry's going to be gunning for the both of us. So I'm going to hear about it on Sunday at the Regional State League, though, so it'll be very interesting. So get around the netball this weekend at your favourite ground, and don't forget Sunday, if you do want to go to the Regional State League Champions Challenge, 11:30am, the gates open, or the doors open as it is at Hisense Arena. Tickets available on the Melbourne Vixens website, www.melbournevixens.com.au. will get you into the Champions Challenge game, as well as the Vixens taking on the Southern Steel. Matty, well done, mate. Welcome back. Great to have you back on the Netball Show. Looking forward to more next week.
Yeah, good to get the first one down, mate, and plenty more exciting stuff to come the following weeks. So
absolutely, no doubt about that one. And make sure you're around every week throughout the 2015 season as the Ballarat Football League Netball Show goes from strength to strength in 2015.